Secret hiding places where they couldn't get in. Sometimes I do the same things over and over, until one day I found out I had autism. My family got me help. Slowly, I learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org/signs. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
Monday Night Baseball, Dodgers, Padres, Sunday at 7 Eastern on ESPN. Presented by Casamigos Tequila.
All eyes are on the WNBA. This season's about super team.
This is Paul Feinbaum. That'll do it for me today. Coming up next, The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
This hour is brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford, Alabama's F-150 Superstore. Welcome to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, 256-576-4977.
That's how I roll. And I'm not going to drink and drive anymore.
That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Wes and Steve.
And away we go on another week. Last day of July. How about that? Camp's getting ready to open up. Heard from a couple of SEC coaches from over the weekend. Heard from a former SEC coach today. Jackson, you'll never guess who's giving up play calling this year. I'll have that answer for you coming up later on in the program. It's a tradition unlike any other. But I wanted to start with Lee Hodges. Congratulations to Lee, wire to wire, winning on the PGA Tour, his first win on the PGA Tour, of course, from Huntsville and lives in Athens. But this was how it sounded on CBS right after he won.
Lee, you're the first wire-to-wire champion here at the 3M Open for your very first PGA Tour victory. How proud are you of the way that you have handled yourself from start to finish?
This has been a dream week. I've got the best caddy in the world. I've got the best wife in the world. I've got mom and dad. Sorry that y'all aren't here. I wish you were. I've got the best everybody. I mean, I've got the best team in the whole world, and they work so hard, and I couldn't do it without them.
Today we've learned how much you mean to so many. Your coach flew in, your wife is here, your home club threw a viewing party where over 100 people were going crazy. We showed that. What do they mean to you and the support that they've provided through this journey?
I'm just proud to be from Alabama. I mean, it's unbelievable the support I get from home. Coach Sewell, I didn't see him till right now. I just saw my buddy Robbie's here. Man, I'm just happy everybody's here, and everybody back home, I hope, is going insane.
I think they are. That's confirmed. Enjoy that celebratory milkshake. Lee Hodges, you are.
Yes, the celebratory milkshake was had by one and all. And even, incidentally, Keith Neighbors is filling in for Wes Neighbors here on this Monday. Keith, it's good to see you, sir.
Nice to see you, Steve.
Lee got a phone call from Nick Saban, and they did post the video, if I can ever get to it. Here is, well, I had it, and it just went away. So maybe they're trying to prevent me from doing this. Man, I had it all set up. Coach Saban called Lee after the win to just kind of congratulate him. And here we go. Here we go, finally. This is the golf coach. Coach Sewell is with Lee Hodges. And here is the back and forth between Coach Saban and Lee Hodges after his first tour victory.
Now with Lee, he's right here. Hold on.
Hey, Coach.
Hey, Vic. How you doing?
How are you, bud?
Great. Congratulations.
Thank you, pal. Appreciate that, man.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Thank you, dude.
You had a great one, huh?
Yeah, no. There's not many times you win by 7, so it was pretty fun.
I usually watch it at night. I was rooting for you, so I'm proud of you.
Thank you, Coach. I appreciate that. You guys get after, all right?
Yeah, we're getting ready to go on Players Report Wednesday and start practicing Thursday.
All right, perfect. Well, good luck this season, Coach. I appreciate you calling.
All right, thanks, buddy.
Thanks.
So obviously that had some music in the background in the room, but he starts off going by, "Hey, buddy. Hey, pal. Hey, buddy. Hey, pal."
Thanks, dude.
Appreciate it there, dude. But sincerely, congratulations to Lee Hodges. It was also a big weekend down on the plains. So evidently, Auburn is in the recruiting business again. It's been a couple of years. But nonetheless, the Auburn Tigers, with a couple of big names, at least a couple of, well, there was two that I know of. Jackson, you tell me, is it more than two? One that was obviously midweek last week that flipped from Georgia to Auburn, and another one over the weekend that flipped from Alabama to Auburn. Am I missing something?
Those are the only two flips so far.
Verbals. Those are verbals.
They did get a commitment from a 4-star wide receiver as well, who was uncommitted.
So, yeah, both those flips were 5 stars.
Yes.
So, I mean, it's a pretty big deal.
It is.
But once again, those are commits.
When they get signed, it'll be done. But I'm stating the obvious.
Well, you're Georgia, I'm Alabama, he's Auburn. We're a little butthurt over here.
So are you happy? I mean, you didn't win a game over the weekend, but it feels like Auburn is back in the national perspective.
Yeah, I think you could say they're in the national perspective. Obviously, you still got to win games on the field, but that's a big move because it shows what kids in high school who are looking to play college football think about Auburn.
Well, so Auburn this afternoon announced a new program, and there's a few folks skewering Auburn right now. I don't know if you've noticed this, but this was, I got this email. When did I get this email? It was 3:34 this afternoon. Auburn Athletics and Tigers Unlimited reimagining the field-level premium experience at Jordan-Hare Stadium, including 6 new improved suite experiences for the 2023 season, originally introduced in 2021 with 1 suite. I had no idea about that. This season will feature 2 field-level suites, each of the southwest. Is that where the flowers were in the corners? Did they dig those up and turn them into suites? Am I thinking the right area or the other side?
I think southwest corner is going to be
below the old scoreboard, right? Or the new one?
It's going to be adjacent to the student section, I think.
Yeah. Okay. So below the old scoreboard. So you're still looking at the new Jumbotron?
No, I guess it would be but below the big board.
I wouldn't want to sit there. I'd want to be on the other side looking at the Jumbotron.
Unless I've got my directions wrong.
Well, you would know before I would. You've spent more time down at Jordan-Hare than I have. But I would want to be in that other side where the old scoreboard is, so you can have the Jumbotron in the back. But the pictures of it, this is Field Suite. It's got a brick background. I mean, it's plush with chairs and a table.
It looks like something at the hockey.
You talking about Huntsville Havoc hockey?
Yeah.
Come on now, don't do that to our own Huntsville Havoc squad.
Well, no, I mean, but they have around the ice, the ring.
Yeah, the ice suites.
Yeah,
the ice suites.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's field level.
That's right, at ice level.
Yeah, so that's what it looks like to me.
But it's you're surrounded by the bricks behind you in the corner.
You won't see anything from there. You're going to have to look at the Jumbotron.
That's why I would want to be away from the Jumbotron, because if you're underneath the Jumbotron, I mean, what are you paying for?
To look at the back of people's heads.
Yeah.
So it looks like it's 2 in the southwest corner, 2 in the southeast corner, and then 1 each in the northwest and northeast corners.
Suites will range in capacity from 16 to 24, with prices ranging from $200 to $1,250. So I would love to know the difference between a $200 experience between $200 to $1,250. I mean,
$1,250. You get to look at the big jumbotron.
You think that's it? Well, we're going to talk more Auburn football coming up later on here in this first hour, War Eagle, with Christian Clemente from 247 Sports. It was a big weekend, and honestly, really this has been an ongoing process ever since Hugh showed up down on the Plains. First, it was the transfer portal. I know it was over 20 different transfer portal players. I know it was over 20, but now the recruiting side starting to kick in as well.
Well, this is why they hired you first.
Yes, 100%.
Because he does know how to recruit.
Also, over the weekend, boy, I mean, as much as I want to complain about the starting arms for the Atlanta Braves, the bats are making up for it.
Olsen has driven in 86 runs this year. Righty deals. 1-1 on the way, and a bullet to deep right field. Back there towards the bullpen. You didn't think he would. He just did. A 2-run homer. And he puts the Braves on top again. It's 8-6 in the 8th.
That was the difference in the game yesterday as the Braves sweep out the Brew Crew. I mean, knocked the Brewers out of first place. The Reds are now in first place in the Central, and I think the Braves against the AL and NL Central, I want to say, are like 25-6. It is just ridiculous. And guys are getting healthier, although I have not heard too much about Kyle Wright. For those of you wondering about our local kid, I have not heard too much about Kyle Wright.
Have you heard anything?
Not a thing. It has gone radio silence. But Max Fried is evidently done with his rehab starts and will probably, I say in air quotes, start against the Cubs later on this week. But we are going to bail a little early tonight to get you ready for the Angels and the Braves. The Braves are 11 and a half games up in first place. That is just, and to think about all the injuries, especially along, I was trying to think about this. If you had to start a playoff series tomorrow, what would be, Spencer Strider would be your first arm. I'm debating Elder as my second arm. I don't know who would be third. A bullpen game for the playoffs?
Trade deadline tomorrow?
It is. Charlie Moulton on the mound tonight. I guess Charlie.
Well, if he's starting now, he'd probably be starting playoffs.
It is game number 104 for the Braves. And I'm hearing Verlander heading back to H-Town. Hearing more and more now that Scherzer has exited to the Lone Star State as well.
New York's going to pay part of his salary, right?
Yes, they are.
Good, because that's the only way I would want him back.
Yeah. I think so Scherzer had to okay it for his deal with the Rangers, and there was brief conversations that I heard from Tom Verducci that the Braves were interested in Verlander, but I'm hearing either the Angels or the Astros, and the Astros just make a ton more sense.
Yeah, I think the Astros, I wouldn't say they're in like a desperation mode, but they definitely need to make a big move after Texas pulled Scherzer.
So I don't know if you've seen the Angels' schedule for the rest of August. It is, I'm telling you, they're 4 games over 500 right now, but I'll pull up their schedule, and you tell me. August looks brutal for the Angels. Good.
Yeah.
Because I remember looking at it going, ooh, ee. So the Angels trying to keep Shohei Ohtani. Good luck with that.
What? I thought they kept him.
Well, technically you're right. Yeah, they did keep him, but coming up after this year, he is a free agent. So after the Braves series, they go home to take on the Marlins, then the Giants, then they're at Houston, at the Rangers, they host the Rays, then they host the Reds, before finally a reprieve against the Mets. I mean, goodness gracious. August. So it's Mariners, Giants, at the Astros, at the Rangers, Rays, and Reds. Good luck with that. That's ridiculous.
So is Atlanta going to go get a starter then?
We better. Well, but I say that to say every playoff team has the same need. It feels that way. We need arms. We need arms. We need arms.
And they've already gotten 2 relievers, right?
Yes, they did. Well, they turned around one and shipped him off to Kansas City. I think he had a third of an inning and gave up 4 runs.
Was that against Boston?
No, that was against. That was over the weekend against Milwaukee.
Because I was listening to Boston when they brought in one new reliever from the Rockies.
I'm trying to place that. There have been so many moves here lately, but the Braves.
He gave up a couple of runs. I turned it off.
A.J. Minner is been returned from his rehab start as well, so that'll help out the bullpen. And in case my wife is listening, I know how you feel, honey. I know how you feel about A.J. Minner, but nonetheless, Taylor Hearn is the reliever that was shipped off to Kansas City. So no more Hearn there for the Atlanta Braves.
What'd they get for him?
An infielder. Oh, trying to get his name. That would be Nicky Lopez, an infielder from the Royals, in exchange for Hearn. A.J. Smith-Shawver was also optioned down to AAA Gwinnett following the game yesterday. So some camps opened up over the weekend, and among them included the Florida Gators. Billy Napier, he met with the media yesterday. He had a couple of things to say that I thought was interesting, most notably on how college football has changed post-COVID.
You know, whether it's concussion protocol and testing, all the data we get from the helmets, from the mouthpieces, it's catapult, it's force plates, it's HRV. I mean, there's a number of metrics here that these things weren't available 10 years. I mean, I can remember specifically when I was a college football player, we did freshman-only practices for a week, and then we did 10 straight days of two-a-days in full gear. I mean, those days are long gone. So we're basically going to practice in 4-day cycles in training camp, 5 4-day cycles, 10:30, 2:30, 6:30 off, you know, or I should say reload. And we practice one time, we walk through one time. And, you know, there's rules relative to spiders, to shells, to full gear. So I think it's really well thought out, and I think we've all learned that we can get the same things across. COVID taught us a lot in that regard, I think. Your team can be prepared, and the quality of football can be presentable with this amount of work.
That is Billy Napier. Yeah, you were shaking your head big time on the way it used to be.
Oh, yeah. We had freshmen. I think we had 3 days of freshmen only. I think we got a half day off for the varsity to come in and report, and then it was 2 days that seemed to last forever.
So I know everyone listening within the sound of my voice also wants to hear from Eli Drinkwitz. Because I don't know how many times I need more Eli Drinkwitz on the program. Well, here is your one soundbite for the day. As he is this year 4? I want to say year 4.
3
or wait a second.
Hold on.
Is it 4? Anyway, that's right, because his first game was against Bama, and he had a couple of really memorable press conferences before that first game against Bama. Anyway, what are your goals? Actually, you know what? Fall camp is more important than ever, according to Coach Drink.
I think fall camp's now more important than probably it was maybe in the early 90s or early 2000s when you didn't have guys all summer and there were summer camps and you're trying to get them back. Now with the with the fluidity of your rosters throughout the year, I think these 25 practices, you create the identity for who you are as a team because you're solidified. You know who's going to be here, and they're committed to being here. They were here throughout the summer, and now they each have to find their role on this year's team.
That is Coach Drink on fall camp. Also, earlier today, Lane Kiffin took to Twitter or X or whatever they're calling it this week about Tua's brother being offered $1.5 million to transfer. Talia Tagovailoa said that he was offered $1.5 million to go to an SEC school. Now, many people are speculating that it was Auburn, but there is no confirmation. But, I mean, if you're Auburn, I'd say, you got to transfer a quarterback from Michigan State. That they're trying to improve the quarterback position down on the Plains.
Might have been before or after. We don't know.
Maybe. Probably.
It might not be Auburn.
Probably. It might not be. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. It could have been. Who else could it have been? Texas A&M. They've got money, but they've got Arkansas.
No, they got.
I know, but I wish I bought in more to KJ, but I'm not. I'm not there.
Would Alabama want him back?
Well, Alabama got themselves a transfer quarterback, and I don't even know if he's going to start the first game.
I have a feeling.
What about Florida?
The speculation is Auburn, but nonetheless, he has stayed with.
Florida might have offered 1.5, but they never would have paid him.
Like the other kid that went to Arizona State.
Yeah.
On the subject of Auburn, it's a tradition unlike any other. And it is whether or not he's calling plays or he's not calling plays. Enjoy the majesty that is Gus Malzahn when he was asked about calling plays this year for UCF. Oh, come on. You're going to enjoy this.
This is the first year you talked about giving up play calling duties and letting Darren take over that role. Was it different today for you on practice? Was it still the same sort of feeling?
Yeah, no, I'm still doing some things with the offense. I'm doing some things with the defense. This is a real similar situation that I had in 2017. When Chip Lindsey ran the offense, and I still was a part, but at the same time making sure that defense and special teams and all that. So I'm just using the same blueprint. That year went pretty good for us.
I think this is the first time you've met with us since Derek LeBlanc transferred to UCF. Is there any change to his status? Because I know he transferred after the deadline. That? Derek LeBlanc.
Yeah. No, he transferred outside of the window, so he'll have to sit out a year at this point right now.
There you go. That's
it's like a bad relationship. I've heard that so many times before.
My apologies for letting that go a little too long, but just hearing Chip Lindsey 17, I can almost see, even though this is radio, I can see into your vehicle. If you're an Auburn fan, just kind of tensing up, going, "Not this again, not this again."
Shaking my fist at the air.
Not this again. Well, 2017 did work out pretty well for Auburn.
Yeah, and then Kerryon Johnson shattered into a million pieces.
Well,
hold on. And who called that? Thank you. Not that I didn't think Kerryon could handle a load. I just thought he was getting way too many carries.
When the UNA caravan came through and we were in the room with Kerryon, and I talked about the doghouse. The Gus Malzahn doghouse, boy, his eyes just lit up. We're gonna go here. Yeah. Yeah. The Gus Malzahn doghouse is very real, very real. And I think there was maybe one tailback in 2017 that was not in the doghouse. It felt that way, especially at the end. Hand it to Kerryon. Let's hand it to Kerryon. Let's hand it to Kerryon.
Well, that Georgia game, that Alabama game, I think he had like 60 carries total those two games. I was like, they're going to run him to the ground.
You know, that whole season also really hurt not having Cam Petway. He never really recovered from his injury in 2016.
Yeah.
That could have taken a lot of carries off of him throughout the year.
We are walking you up to Braves baseball tonight. Christian Clemente going to join us later on here in this first hour, but your phone calls are the feature on the other side on this Monday edition of The Drive.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on bhhsriserealestate.com. You want the right specialist for your recovery. At SportsMed Orthopedic Surgery and Spine Center, we understand every body is different. Your muscles and bones are unique, as is your body. Our SportsMed specialists offer innovative treatments and minimally invasive procedures, allowing you to quickly return to the life you love. Locations in Huntsville, Madison, Athens, and Decatur, and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com. Improving performance, improving lives.
Thom Abraham here for my friend Brian Hamaker and his team at North Alabama Mortgage. Look, buying a home is the biggest purchase you will make in your life, and it can be a bit intimidating, so you want people that can help walk you through the mortgage process and get you the best deal possible. That's what North Alabama Mortgage does, and they do it in Alabama, Tennessee, and Florida, from first-time purchases to refis, conventional, VA, FHA, and USDA loans. They have the solution at North Alabama Mortgage. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. That's NorthAlabamaMortgage.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts' new Brake Best Select Pro brand raises the bar for the best aftermarket domestic brake pads and rotors available. For vehicle-specific friction formulations, Quiet-Tech noise-canceling shims, and stainless steel hardware, choose Brake Best Select Pro. Professional-grade brakes from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Forgiveness. Wow, what a word. What a gift. All of us have done things in our lives that we regret. All of us have done things that are disobedient. All of us have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. Thank God for his forgiveness. Thank God that he separates our sins as far as the east is from the west and remembers them no more. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor at Cross Point Church, smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison. Check us out at cpcfamily.org.
Tom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
What if I told you that Bigfoot is real and that he's making the best donuts you've ever had? Come see for yourself at Bigfoot's Little Donuts. Come in and order from over 50 flavors, all made hot and delicious. Ranked in the top 100 donut shops in the nation by Yelp. Bigfoot Little Donuts. Order in store or online at BigfootsLittleDonuts.com for pickup or delivery from Grub South or DoorDash. South Parkway, Huntsville, and County Line Road, Madison. Bigfoot's Little Donuts.
This segment of The Drive is brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford, located online at WoodyAndersonFord.com with 2 locations, Hughes Road in Madison and Jordan Lane in Huntsville.
Back here on this Monday edition of The Drive, phone lines open to you at 256-576-4977. Keith Neighbors filling in for Wes Neighbors. Don't forget, coming up tomorrow, we are on the road at the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill. I've already played a little bit from Billy Napier, And Billy went into a little bit of the rooming situation that he wanted to create for his squad. And my mind went in a million different directions, Keith, but I wanted you to hear this just about the roommate assignments down in Gainesville.
We do some cool stuff. This year we're moving the players into Tolbert Hall. We're putting them with a random roommate. They're in there for the first week of training camp. We're eating all of our meals in the dining hall, where they actually have to sit down and put their phone away for the next 3 weeks. So we're going to do some leadership cross sections of our team from a leadership development standpoint, and then we're going to have some, unique opportunities throughout camp with some small groups. Just, I think that it's important that we connect. We try to create crossover relationships in all parts of what we do. So it's absolutely part of what we do.
So when he says random roommates, it almost, to me, feels like, Keith, of someone walking up, picking a name out of a hat. I'd like to believe there's a little more.
I would think there's a little more. I wouldn't like that. Now, putting your phone up, all eating as a team.
Yeah.
Love that concept. But living with somebody just random.
Random roommate.
So there's what?
Feels like a new sitcom on Fox.
120 guys. You're not going to like everybody.
No.
So I would like, especially during two-a-days, or I guess they're not two-a-days anymore, but during camp, everybody's tired. After week one, everybody's going to be really grumpy. I wouldn't mind matching a quarterback with somebody like a.
So offense with offense, defense with defense?
Usually, but like a quarterback with a.
And then special teams,
like
they get to sleep on the field or something?
Yeah, kickers. But you get like a wide receiver, you want a new wide receiver that you think is going to be good, and maybe you want them to develop a relationship with the quarterback.
But that's not random.
No. But
when he says random.
I wouldn't like random is what I said. I wouldn't like random. But yeah, I don't want, if I'm a middle linebacker, I don't want to be with the center or guard. There might be a fight that carries on over the night.
Trust me, I have already got my first question for Billy Napier when the first SEC teleconference is ready to roll in late August.
Okay, can you imagine?
It cannot be random, Coach.
Can you imagine a DB and a wide receiver? They'd be
Diva?
They'd be talking crap all night. Nobody ever gets sleep.
Woo. Adam is on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Appreciate the phone call. Adam, how are you?
I'm great, guys. I called in a couple of weeks ago. I was the one on the trip to Oklahoma.
Yes.
With the delusional Oklahoma fans. So I sent my cousin's text, and I said, I get what you're talking about now. It was softball they were talking about, right? But anyway, Wes has got a saying that there's a paddle for every you-know-what.
Yeah.
I figured out what my paddle was this weekend.
Okay.
It was a 14-hour softball tournament in Alabama in July.
That'd be a paddle for a lot of people.
Yes.
Hope there was a fan involved, and I don't mean people that cheer.
No, there was no fans. There was people screaming, but with a team, my daughter picked up with them. Our normal team, we have fans, generators. This team didn't have that. And let me tell you, boys, it was hot.
I bet.
Now, see, we did travel baseball a couple of times, and we had tents to put over the stands, fans.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody would bring one of those fans that blew ice.
It's pretty bad when I stepped outside today, feeling like, wow, okay, someone turned off the hair dryer. Yeah, this is fantastic.
It was only 90.
It's only 90.
Now, my daughter's team normally has that. We have which now I take a tent, but normally we have our team owns we have a cool jet thing with generators and all this. So, but her team's not started yet, and there was this team out of Georgia wanted her to come pick up, and I was like, yeah, sure, we'll pick her up, thinking this team's legit. And we get there and nada.
Balling on a budget.
Yes. But we did win the tournament, and that was okay. But from now on, when somebody calls and says, does your daughter want to come play with us? The first thing I'm asking is, you got fans?
Yeah, you don't want to be balling on a budget.
No, We want porticos. We want. We're divas over here. I'm all.
Ice bucket challenge. Is that what you're telling me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But on a different subject, what is y'all's opinion on Hugh Freeze and recruiting in Auburn? And do you think he's going by the book?
They're in the book.
I was about to say there's not a book right now. So
okay, there are rules, but nobody's checking to see if anybody's following them.
Give me a rule. What is a rule right now?
Well, I mean, you can't pay people to come to recruiting visits.
Says who?
That's in the SEC rules. It does. You can't pay people to come to visit.
I don't know the rules. I'm not a rules expert, but I think Hugh Freeze can build a program. I just don't know.
No, Hugh Freeze is a great coach. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, I liked him when he was at Ole Miss. He did a good job. He's done a good job everywhere he's been. So he'll do a good job at Auburn. I mean, Auburn's now going to start getting recruits.
I'm a diehard Auburn fan. I just don't want to be on probation the next 5 years.
I think you're okay.
Yeah. No, I'm not worried about probation for anybody.
I mean, I think Hugh Freeze is an awesome coach. I wanted him when they fired Malzahn. That was my pick. But I just want to be on the up and up.
A lot of people believe that he has been the successor of Gus Malzahn.
Well, he's not.
They're just omitting that little blurb on the rundown.
I think Mr. Yellowfeller wanted him.
There's no doubt about that.
Well, I thought Yellowfeller wanted Steele.
Well, there at the beginning, yes.
I didn't want Steele. No, he's a snake in the grass. I wanted Hugh Freeze because he develops talent. You know,
Dallas Turner told me that Kevin Steele is quite the comedian.
Yeah, anytime you try to undermine your boss to get a job, you're a snake in the grass. Just say it.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Adam. Appreciate the phone call. So the Auburn conversation continues as, listen, I think from all the times I can remember covering Auburn, at least from a recruiting standpoint, I can never remember it being as depleted down on the Plains than under Harsin. Of hearing the lack of recruiting.
Well, Gus, the last couple of years, for some reason, they got almost zero offensive linemen.
Oh, yeah.
And then Harsin came in and made it worse. So anything that's happened since then is going to be better than what they had. But Hugh Freeze knows how to recruit. He got a number one class when he was at Ole Miss. And some of those things he did there, he can do now and not get in trouble at all. I mean, everybody's doing it. So, I guess he had no violations directly on him. That just shows you that he knows what he's doing when he was at Ole Miss.
Now it's legal. NIL.
Oh, yeah, everybody's doing it.
By the way, I never watch news channels. I hardly ever. But over the weekend, I went to visit my mom, who constantly watches Fox News.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's on there all the time. I walk in, what are they talking about? They're talking about NIL and the effect that it's having on college football. And these hairdos talking college football may have been one of the funniest things I've ever heard. I wanted to cue it up because they were talking about Bryce Young and the effects that he had.
Well, Bryce.
Yeah, he's not.
Well, Bryce's deals were
anymore.
Bryce's deals were pretty legitimate.
Yeah.
With the Heisman House and
a few others.
Dr. Pepper.
He earned $3.5 million from NIL deals last year.
What did you see his contract? Most of it was signing bonus.
I did not look at his contract.
It was I can't remember.
All I know is Frank Wright, QB1 is right there.
Oh, yeah.
He's a grown-ass man is exactly what he said. Let's head back to the Plains on the other side. Christian Clemente from 247 Sports. He'll join us next.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
At Woody Anderson Ford, it's your car, your way, every day. Hi, Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford with some great lease and finance packages. Come test drive one of our all-electric 2023 Mach-E's and you'll see what all the fuss is about. Get financing as low as 2.9% for 60 months plus $4,000 in bonus cash. Or lease the Mach-E for $479 a month. And speaking of leases, how about a 2023 Bronco Sport for $399 or a 23 Edge for $449? These are 36-month leases with $52.71 on Mach-E, $37.09 on Bronco Sport, and $48.79 on Edge Do It signing. Zero security deposit, just tax tag title, and your good credit. All offers in July 31st. Call 539-9441 for complete details. At Woody Anderson Ford, we also have F-150 STX with $3,500 in total trade assist. Plus, financing as low as 3.9 for 60 months. And with nearly 30 STXs to choose from, you may find exactly what you're looking for. Come on in today, Woody Anderson Ford. Hope to see you soon.
This is Wes Neighbors sitting here with Philip Love of not only Eagle Insulation, now he represents Eagle Companies. Eagle through the years have added several companies to help individuals or builders through their construction renovation process. Eagle is known to represent quality, efficiency, and professionalism. Philip, I know you do insulation, but do you do masonry?
We do.
Do you do grading, erosion control, and dirt hauled off?
We do.
Do you do after paint, which includes shower doors, mirrors, shelving blinds, and bath hardware?
Yes, we do, Wes.
Do you do landscaping and irrigation?
Yes, we do.
So basically, Eagle can help you all along your process of building your house or doing renovations. So do you do plumbing?
We do not, Wes, but we can find somebody to do it.
Just give them time. They'll be there. Anyway, call Eagle Insulation at
256-755-1556.
Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money. Call Eagle today.
Thanks, Wes.
Hi, this is Wes Neighbors. I'm here with Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Sam, tell the folks about Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Hey Wes, our company Fleming Roofing and Restoration specializes in commercial and residential roofing and repairs. I'm a fifth generation Huntsvillian and our family's been doing construction business in Huntsville area since 1965.
Sam, what kind of roofs does Fleming Roofing and Restoration do?
Our guys are skilled enough we can come out and address any kind of leaks or issues you might have on your commercial, on your metal roofing, on your shingles. We can do anything and we can offer you a solution to repair it or we can replace it.
Well, you guys also do insurance restoration.
Our staff has 10 plus years of experience as insurance adjusters and we really do know the inside and out of the claims process at Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Check out Fleming Roofing and Restoration online at FlemingHSV.com or you can call or text them at 256-651-9440.
Hey Wes, we show up.
I wanna thank you. Thank you for making us your #1 choice for sports talk in North Alabama.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
So this is an error on the producer.
I was not paying attention, all right?
Wow.
Wrong intro. Rotator.
Is Christian Clemente still on hold right now?
Not if he knows what's good for him.
We welcome you back to The Drive. Let's seamlessly talk some Auburn football after that intro, as Christian's kind enough to join us on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. How are you, sir?
Really good. How about you guys?
Oh, see, that's that bad mojo from the producer. As let's try it one more time. We had a bad sell right there.
I'm doing really good. How about you guys?
Perfect. We are good. We're good, and it sounds like most Auburn fans are good as well after Big Cat Weekend. Tell me your thoughts from over the weekend.
Yeah, I mean, it's about as successful as Auburn really could have been over the last week, where you flipped DeMarcus Riddick from Georgia, the 5-star linebacker out of Chilton County, on Wednesday last week, and you carry that momentum straight into Big Cat. You pick up blue chip wide receiver Malcolm Simmons to start the day, a guy that Auburn feels pretty strongly about as a future really talented receiver. And then that news unfortunately for Malcolm, gets overshadowed a little bit with the flip of five-star wide receiver Perry Thompson, obviously from Alabama, from there out of Foley, a guy that Auburn has put in a ton of work with. I mean, he wasn't even offered by the previous staff, hadn't really visited Auburn at all. In all honesty, I didn't really know his name until January when he was offered by this new staff. And Auburn goes to work, and they get him, and now you'd be hard-pressed to find a team with more recruiting momentum and more buzz surrounding the program than Auburn right now, which is big considering the fact that five-star defensive lineman Kamarion Franklin snuck into Auburn today for a quick visit, just got done talking to him 20 minutes ago maybe. And you've got K.J. Bolden announcing his commitment on Saturday. So Auburn is very excited. Auburn fans are very excited. It's an exciting time around Auburn recruiting.
Is this as a complete 180 from covering just from that brief period of Harsin to Freeze?
Yeah, I'm going to steal what my coworker Jason Caldwell said. It was like, he said it's not night and day, it's a black hole to the sun. And that would be the best way of putting it in my mind.
It sounds like Jason. I mean, it just it does feel like there's oxygen in the program now down on the plains, Christian.
It does. It's, yes, what you said, complete 180. It could not be any different. It went from a staff at the top, especially that didn't recruit and didn't put in the work to recruit, to a staff that emphasizes recruiting as its main priority, and understanding that for this program, for Auburn to really turn around and be what they want it to be and what Auburn fans want it to be, that they need to hit the high school ranks hard. We saw them win the transfer portal in a pretty big way over the offseason, and now they're winning in high school recruiting with some of their top guys, which is vital. And it gives Auburn, we don't know what the season is going to look like. It could go a variety of different ways. When you have 40-plus new guys come in, it's hard to guess, and it's hard to put a marker on what the season could be. But the staff has done a good job of selling the future, not only to recruits, but just the fans in general, and showing that what Auburn could be in the next couple of years.
How important was the momentum late in the year when Cadillac took over? It almost feels like that has fueled a little bit of this as well. Is that fair to say, Christian?
I think it is. I think that momentum has not really died down for Auburn. It certainly hasn't died down in the building, I can tell you that. Everybody there is really excited, from players to the new coaches to the coaches that were on staff previously and are still on staff. We saw it with signing day last year, where they got some big wins there with Connor Liu and Kayan Lee and obviously Keldrick Falk there at the end. Then we saw it continue with the transfer portal as Auburn reshaped its roster. And now we've seen that recruiting momentum kind of keep going in the high school with, you got Joseph Phillips, you got DeMarcus Riddick, now you got Perry Thompson. Now we'll see if it can keep going. I really, really like Auburn's chances with DeAndre Carter, the number 55 player and the number 1 interior offensive lineman in the country, who came back this weekend from Big Cat out of Mater Dei, California. And then the big one is K.J. Bolden. We'll see what happens on Saturday, but that momentum just really hasn't. You hit it on it perfectly. It just has not died down since Cadillac was the interim coach.
Talking to Christian Clemente right now on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. And if there has been one other story that certainly people in the know are keeping a close eye on, it is the tailback position. And Mr. Hunter, school starts, at least I did a quick Google search, on August the 16th. I'd like to believe is there any kind of time frame on when we know what's going on with the young man?
Well, we should know by Thursday, theoretically, because Auburn players report to campus on Wednesday for fall camp, and then on Thursday practice starts, and we'll have a media viewing window on Thursday. By Thursday we should have an idea of at least some sort of something on what's going on. It's been just such a weird situation where the university, not the actual athletics program, the university puts out a statement, and then Auburn can't comment on it. And then they say this is not a Jarquez Hunter situation. They say this is not specific to someone. And it's just been, it's kind of been a mess, in all honesty, to the point where it's hard to figure out what's going on. But hopefully by Thursday we should have a good idea, at least roughly, what's going on.
How important is he to be on this team this year?
Yeah, I think Hugh Freeze said in the spring that he's might be the best running back that he's ever coached. And Hugh Freeze doesn't necessarily have the biggest track record with huge running backs like he necessarily does with receivers, like A.J. Brown and DK Metcalf, but he's had some solid guys in the past. And, we've seen what Jarquez Hunter can do behind Tank Bigsby, and it was his chance. It was his turn now. He had waited his time the past couple of years behind Tank to get this chance, and so he would clearly be running back one. If he's out, it hurts, but I do still like what Auburn has at running back. Damari Alston is a guy that has put in a ton of work, and every single time you talk to anybody at Auburn about Damari Alston, they say nothing but positive things about how he's developed over the past year. Obviously, you bring in Brian Batiste, the transfer from USF, and then Jeremiah Cobb, the freshman out of Montgomery Catholic, is a really, really talented back who, if Jarquez Hunter were to be out, all of a sudden you'd be counting on him a little bit more than expected. So they'd be okay, but if you're Auburn, and if you're an Auburn fan, you'd obviously like to have Jarquez Hunter.
Everybody's looking at the new toy from the transfer portal in terms of QB1, but any chance the incumbent has a real opportunity to be QB1?
It's definitely possible. Auburn's going to give not only Robbie Ashford but Holden Geriner every opportunity. It's going to be a battle. Auburn brought in Peyton Thorne, and the expectation at Auburn and the expectation around Auburn is that Peyton Thorne will be the guy, but it's not hand gifted to him. He's going to have to go out there and earn it. And throughout the summer, whether it was camps or workouts or whatever, Robbie Ashford was around the building a ton, which is something that I don't think he would have done necessarily last year. I think he's matured a lot, which was some of the questions around Robbie Ashford. We saw it on the sideline, him having temper tantrums, whatever you want to call it, not acting how a quarterback, like a leader, should necessarily be. I think he's taken a step forward there, so he'll have an opportunity to earn it. Obviously, we expect Peyton Thorne to be the guy, but Robbie Ashford will have his chance.
I got the rundown earlier today. I'm sure you did as well from the Auburn SID department. Coach Freeze is going to talk Thursday morning, but in terms of scrimmages, it looks like, did I count this right, 2 scrimmages? Is that what you counted as well?
That sounds right, yes.
And it does feel like after Coach Freeze talks on Saturday, August the 12th, it feels like that is the big one, the big date to circle in terms of how this team is going to look like moving forward.
Yeah, it's we'll have a lot of opportunities for media viewing windows, which will be nice. But in those, you can only really get so much. To be honest, I'm just glad that we have actual football to watch, and we're not just going to be talking about it anymore on Thursday. But the 12th will be interesting. I think that's Fan Fest. I think that's the same day as well. So they'll practice, or they'll scrimmage, I should say, over at the stadium, and then later in the day, they're welcoming fans over to the new football, or actually I think it's at the old football facility, for fans to meet the players and get autographs from all them and the coaches and whatnot.
You know what, Christian? I'm putting 2 and 2 together in my head right now. Forgive me. I went to Georgia Public Schools, but Hugh Freeze talks 8:30 Thursday morning, and then the practice starts at 9:30. So I'm kind of adding this up. We're really not going to, unless someone asks Coach Freeze a point-blank question about Hunter, well, I don't think that's very strategic there on Mr. Freeze.
Yeah, but we do have that media viewing window later that day. So either way, we'll see whether or not he's there at practice. From Auburn's side, I know it's an investigation. I know those things take time, but you've got to get this situation wrapped up one way or the other, whatever it may be. You need to start getting some clarity on this situation. And in all honesty, I just hope that it happens here soon, because I'm kind of tired of hearing about it.
Yeah, I bet, because I bet you're getting peppered all over the place. The other big off-season issue has been portal players. Ultimately, how many portal players did Auburn end up with?
Ooh, I believe they're at 21, because DeMario Tolan, the transfer from LSU, ended up departing the team, but you picked up Dylan Senda, that Northwestern offensive lineman transfer late last night. So I think they're at 21. It's either 20 or 21.
Is he eligible?
He is, yes.
Gotcha. Well, there is a lot to chew on this preseason, and it feels like there's a lot to wrap around with this football program, but it does feel like from a recruiting standpoint, from what you're following down there, it does feel like once again, Auburn is getting back on the right track.
In recruiting, they're 100% on the right track. I think this staff has a good vision for where they want to recruit, who they want to recruit, as in, what type of players they want, what kind of culture they want to build. And so far, I think they're doing that in a really good aspect. In 24/7 Sports rankings, I think Auburn is number 17 right now after the additions, and that's with just 14 commitments. I want to say they're like number 5 or number 6 if you're just looking at the average rating of the recruits. So they've got a really solid class building, and as crazy as this sounds, this is not a prediction. I was just messing around with our class calculator a little bit. We think that Auburn, I've put in crystal balls for Auburn to get T.J. Lindsey and DeAndre Carter. Think that those are realistic, potentially as early as this week. And then Jalewis Solomon, the 4-star cornerback, and K.J. Bolden, the 5-star safety, will both announce on August 5th. If Auburn goes 4 for 4 there, Auburn would have the number 4 class in the country right now.
Ooh, man, that's exciting news there for the Auburn fan base. Christian, I can't thank you enough for hopping on with us, and I know the season's right around the corner, so we'll be in touch, sir.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
That is Christian Clemente. You can check him out, auburn247.com, and on Twitter at cclemente247, as 21 is the number to circle. Wow, that is a lot of new bodies down there on the Plains, but they needed it, Keith.
Oh, yeah. I mean, especially on the offensive line.
Yeah.
And the defensive line. They had a lot of attrition from the defensive line since Malzahn has left. I think when he left, they had 7 guys hit the portal.
My big takeaway from SEC Media Days, from talking to folks that cover Auburn constantly, Robbie Ashford, don't sleep on Robbie Ashford. I constantly kept hearing about Robbie Ashford maybe being the guy.
Well, I mean, you watch him play, and, I mean, of course, he's dynamic when he runs the ball.
Yeah.
When he throws the ball, I mean, he made some really good throws last year. He's also made some really poor throws. His decision-making, I mean, he didn't force a lot of throws. I mean, he'd rather run than force throws, which is okay.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know the kid, so, I mean, I've never talked to him, never watched film on him. I'm just saying what I've seen when I watched Auburn play. He's not at least he wasn't what I would think is an SEC quarterback, just with his consistency of how accurate he is. No, people change and people get better. I'm a firm believer you either get better or you get worse. Rarely do you ever stay the same in anything.
And it sounds like he's putting in the work. Yeah. At least hearing Christian right there.
So, I mean, who knows? I mean, the other guy, I didn't watch any Michigan State football last year, so I have no idea.
Now, I am of the opinion, even though Christian didn't say it, Hunter not playing is a big deal.
All right, so I don't know what in the world's going on.
Google it.
Okay, you can't say it.
Google it.
All right,
just Google it. I mean, I really don't want to get into it on the air
because I don't know what happened.
So, just Google it.
All
right.
It doesn't sound good though.
A lot of people have cameras.
Okay.
A lot of people have cameras. Again, that's all I'm going to say about it. But I
got a better idea already.
But I do think Hunter not playing is a big deal.
Well, he looked like he had a chance to be a really good back, and maybe he will be. So, I mean, you're innocent until proven guilty. So, maybe not with cameras.
All right.
I don't know.
All right, final call for phone calls. Come up on the other side. I know you're looking at your phone or whatever and saying, wait a second. Braves baseball tonight, 6:20 first pitch, as the Braves welcome in the Angels. Why can't we just call them the California Angels like we used to? Do they have to be the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim of Orange County?
I thought they were the Angels?
It depends on the day.
Okay.
It depends on the day. Sports Center update. This is just a 2-minute timeout right here. We'll be right back.
At Woody Anderson Ford, it's your car, your way, every day. Hi, Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford with some great lease and finance packages. Come test drive one of our all-electric 2023 Mach-E's and you'll see what all the fuss is about. Get financing as low as 2.9% for 60 months plus $4,000 in bonus cash. Or lease the Mach-E for $479 a month. And speaking of leases, how about a 2023 Bronco Sport for $399 or a 23 Edge for $449? These are 36-month leases with $5,271 on Mach-E, $3,709 on Bronco Sport, and $4,879 on Edge Do It signing. Zero security deposit, just tax tag title, and your good credit. All offers in July 31st. Call 539-9441 for complete details. At Woody Anderson Ford, we also have F-150 STX with $3,500 in total trade assist, plus financing as low as 3.9% for 60 months. And with nearly 30 STXs to choose from, you may find exactly what you're looking for. Come on in today. Woody Anderson Ford. Hope to see you soon.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
This is Sports Center.
Bad news in Indy. I'm Chris Smith. Colts running back Zach Moss breaks his arm in practice and will miss roughly 4 to 6 weeks. Moss was the number 2 back behind Jonathan Taylor, who was requesting a trade after seeking a contract extension. But ESPN NFL reporter Kimberly Martin says the Colts star has no leverage.
They're under no obligation to trade him. Irsay has said, we're not trading him. It would take a team giving up, a substantial package for him. But here's the thing. If another team was willing to give up that much, if you're saying we want a lot of compensation for him, then obviously he's valuable, which then brings into question his point of, pay me what I'm worth.
Heard on ESPN Radio, Taylor reported back pain during his pre-camp physical that was deemed to be from an injury that was not sustained while playing for Indianapolis, which Taylor stated on social media that he never had a back pain. The situation now as the team is considering whether to place Taylor on the non-football injury list, which could result in Indianapolis withholding his salary. To make matters worse, Colts rookie QB Anthony Richardson underwent a minor surgery to correct a nasal septum on Sunday, leaving him sidelines for at least Monday's practice. On to baseball, the Yankees have recalled pitcher Johnny Brito from AAA Scranton Wilkes-Barre, and he will get the start tonight against the Rays in New York. Domingo Germán was scheduled to be on the mound for the series opener in New York, but he's experienced some discomfort in his armpit area. Manager Aaron Boone says he doesn't think Germán will need to go on the injured list. And the Angels made a late audible, naming right-hander Chase Silseth their starting pitcher against the Braves for the opener of their 3-game series.
Hey, it's Amber Wilson. Coming up on Tuesday, I'll tell you which NFL team is being overlooked right now, and just a hint, they recently won the Super Bowl. Don't miss it. 6 a.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and on ESPNU.
'97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Welcome to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, 256-576-4977.
That's how I roll. And I'm not going to drink and drive anymore.
That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Wes and Steve.
Hour number 2 rolls along. We're walking you up to Braves baseball. The Braves are 31 games over 500, and the Angels are 4 games over 500. I don't know if you noticed this story from over the weekend, but it does have a little bit of a local tie. The wife of a former Auburn football player was charged in a plot to kill her estranged husband.
Easy for you to say.
Yeah, really. In a Bahamian court. Now, according to the Bahamas Court News, which, by the way, if anybody down there is listening, I'd be willing to be your correspondent for a month or two. Or anyway, Lindsay Shriver, 36, conspired to kill her husband, Robert Shriver, in a plot that included a 28-year-old Terrence Bethel, who is reported to be her lover. So both men also charged in the unsuccessful attempt for the murder plot. They found this on a WhatsApp message system.
That's funny, but
I'm glad there was no death involved. But wow.
Do they say how they try to kill him?
No, it does not.
Spear gun?
Spear gun. I've never been to the Bahamas, but again, if anybody's listening from the Bahamas court news, I'd be willing to go down to investigate the beach. Not necessarily the story, but I'm glad that no one died.
They missed.
But yeah. So more news from the plains right there, since this is your Auburn station here on this Monday. Let's talk to Mark on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. How are you, Mark?
I don't know.
You gonna check out your WhatsApp app?
Yeah, well, it's like I'm trying to figure out a Shakespeare, play that would fit the Auburn. What's going on? Just from what I've heard and some of these flips. A lot of people forget about Reuben Foster. He still has an Auburn tattoo, and he was a Alabama.
He does, yeah. That's a fact. Yeah, but Ink was involved.
What I'm concerned about, and I'm not going to get into the rumors, so I won't give details, but one of the things about the recent Alabama player that, this big pay weekend or big cat weekend, that there is a concern that with no NCAA rules on the books and this NIL, that a team such as Auburn could, or Alabama, anybody, could they not make some promises, whether they keep them or not is irrelevant, and state that, you come here and we got an NIL deal with the local Ford dealer and we got you $1 million guarantee.
There was a little bit about that. There was a little bit of that happened in Gainesville, if you want to believe, with the quarterback that ended up going to Arizona State.
So, I mean, people can promise anything, but if you do that and the promises aren't kept, that won't last very long. So, I mean, especially now with social media, I mean, these kids who are being recruited, they talk to each other constantly. They've known each other from going to these camps probably since they were 13, 14 years old. I mean, they make friends. Ballers usually hang out with other ballers. So, I mean, these guys talk a lot. So if someone's made an offer, like, and I'm going to Auburn, and they offered somebody more than me, then guess what I'm doing? I'm calling down there and saying, hey, I heard you're giving D'Amico $1 million, you're only giving me $200,000. I mean, you have to be careful what you promise.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to bring up. Coach Saban's made it clear, and I do think him and Kirby Smart are probably the top two, and probably I'd say Dabo Swinney I put in that group that I would trust if I were like a higher level executive at those universities, that they're not going to put the university in harm's way over a player. And so I'm not, and again, this is no knock on Auburn, but I'm just saying if we see a trend where players that, are hard commit flip, and in this current age that we're in, with no real consequences, this is the part of college football that I think is going to drive Coach Saban out of the game. Is when get this, he even said it last year with Jimbo Fisher, that we're not going to be able to compete with some of these other, collectives, and it just makes you wonder, because I don't think Saban's going to be the type of guy that's going to sell his program out for a player. He knows what that would do to the culture. I was going to hang up and let y'all comment on that.
Thank you, Mark.
Well, if you sell your program out for a player or two players or whatever you're thinking, then usually those guys are never going to be happy where they are. So, I mean, and you're seeing that a lot. I mean, that you got the NIL and the transfer portal now. I mean, people are coming in, staying 1 year, and leaving because they're not playing. Not everybody's ready to play. Not all. I mean, what a definition of a 5-star is someone who's supposed to be ready, come in their freshman year and start. And there are not many of those guys out there. There are not many 5-stars out there. I mean, some people have to start because of necessity or injury, or you're just low at a position, or you've had a lot of people hurt at a position. But a 5-star is supposed to be able to come in and beat out anybody who's in front of them and start right away. So, if those guys don't start or don't play a lot of times, that next year they're going to be somewhere else. So, I mean, you recruit your own, you got to recruit high school. You got to recruit your own team now. That's the kind of stuff I kind of agree with you about Saban probably not liking. Is, have to recruit your own team every year. And then you got to go plug holes with the portal when you need to. And Alabama, I thought, did really well the first couple of years at the portal.
Yeah, especially what they got out of it.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, I'm saying they lost some players, but you look at Jameson Williams and those guys that they got. You try to get at least at Alabama, Georgia, Auburn, elite SEC level. If you're going to get somebody out of the portal, usually it's either to be a key backup in case someone gets hurt. You don't have a lot of depth, but all you get's freshmen behind them, or someone that needs to be immediate impact.
By the way, high schools are starting to crank up as well, and if you haven't, you need to download our app. There's going to be some Fridays we're going to have 5 football games going on at the same time. So you need to download the app. Just search 977 ESPN in your Google Marketplace or your Apple Store. Someone who does have the app, I don't know if he does or not, but Wolverine Dan joins us on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Do you have the app, sir?
I have an appetizer.
I was afraid that's where you were going to go.
I might have an app.
Yeah, I'll show you how to download it.
I have the app.
I have an app. I think 97.7 the zone. Yeah, I can get you guys to listen to you. Sure.
What is on your mind, sir?
Well, I just wanted to tell the audience, listening. I was in my neighborhood now with my Mustang GT with the top down with the 5.0 motor. Got a lot of muscle, and I'm behind this guy riding a bike. I swear to God, in a residential subdivision, I think I was clocking him at 50 miles an hour. Riding that bike. He was like, who's the Le Mans guy that used to run those Tour de France's? Yeah, he was that guy. You were that guy.
I did pedal a little bit earlier today. I'm starting to get on the bike a little bit more. I've gone to Zoom indoor cycling. I've gone through almost 15 classes, and it's just it's cranked that engine. And, yeah, I did pedal a little bit this morning. So if you see a big fat guy on a bike in your neighborhood, don't worry. Don't call 911 unless I'm on the ground somewhere. But, yeah, that's me sucking wind. But it was a nice day. It wasn't as hot as it has been.
No, I go by your house probably around 5, 6 o'clock in the morning every day. So I'll keep an eye on your place for you.
Yeah, keep an eye on the Moulton compound. I appreciate that.
Yeah, the Moulton compound. So I was, they got this Michigan Football Classic on Big Ten Network. I was watching the '91 game against Ohio State when we punked them 31-3. And it was awesome because you could see Desmond Howard. They showed the pose. That was the game where he did the pose.
Was it?
Yes. Oh, and there's nobody else who's done it. Hey, nobody's done it like that at that moment, at that crucial game. And we lost only one game that year. It was Florida State, okay? But I'll tell you right now, it was 31-3, and that pose was perfect. I mean, he ran that punt back. It just devastated the Buckeyes. They were devastated. So I thought, I'm going to go back to my honey hole here. I'm watching the Big Ten Network again, and I watched the 1996 Classic at the Shoe. So I just started, so I'm excited. So as you can tell, I'm starting to gear up for foosball.
You going to fill in? Are you going to fill in for Harbaugh for the first 4 games?
No, but I am going to ask him if I can play a game or a couple downs. Can you get me in? I mean, come on.
I think you got one snap in you. You got one snap.
Oh, no, I do. I'll punish. And guess what? And if I get punished, I'll wake up with a big smile on my face after they put that little smelling salt underneath your nose.
I was reading ESPN. It's the worst non-conference schedule. Michigan.
Yeah.
The worst?
The worst.
Yeah.
The easiest. I thought it was the easiest.
Well, the same thing. The worst is going to be easiest.
Oh,
So this means Georgia and Michigan first round of the playoffs, right?
It said Georgia was a close second, I believe, or it was at least a honorable mention.
Well, that's what happens when you pick up Ball State.
Well, listen, guys. All I know is that it doesn't. Because so Harbaugh's not going to coach on Saturdays until the 5th game in Lincoln, Nebraska, and that's where I will be with my best friend and my son and his son. So
I've always wanted to go to a game in Nebraska.
Yeah,
it's one of the places.
I've never. Our thing of the listeners, I'm going to every game that an away game Michigan plays until I finish them all, and hopefully I'll still be on the face of this earth. And I think I can get them in. Can I, Ginger? I think I can. How many games? I'll be here a while. You know, Steve, I look good, didn't I? See, I told you.
You ride your bike without a helmet.
Oh, yeah. She got at me about riding the bike without a helmet.
That's no good right there. I was wearing a helmet.
The only helmet I have is like a Detroit Lions helmet. I thought about wearing that.
Better than nothing.
I agree with Ginger. I agree with.
Okay. I'm going to start wearing this thing. She says I'm hard-headed. Anyway, I'll stop it. Anyway, all right, so bottom line, fellas, it's great to see Steve on the bike. Steve, I swear to God, I could not believe how fast you were going. My car couldn't keep up with you.
Thank you, Dan. I appreciate it. Tomorrow, we are on the road at the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill, and no, before you ask, I'm not going to pedal over there. I don't know if you've ever wanted to participate in Jeopardy! But there was, someone got a little tongue-tied. And this happened on Friday on Jeopardy!
Let's start with messing with Texas for 200.
In 2014, Decatur, Texas rescheduled this holiday back to the 30th as it conflicted with Friday night high school football. Sharon.
What is football?
No, I'm sorry.
Here is a little bit more from Ken Jennings, the host.
Sharon?
Real fast 400.
Sifan Hassan holds the women's world record in this track event. 4 minutes, 12.33 seconds. Wow. Sharon?
What is the 50-yard dash?
No, I'm sorry.
That's fast.
I think a lot of us can do the 50-yard a little faster now. That's a mile. That's a mile she's running there.
I mean,
the sports isn't their thing.
Well, clearly.
Fastest mile you ever run, Steve?
So when I made the basketball team my sophomore year, I voluntarily made the track and cross country team, and I didn't know it. I went to go pick up the jerseys, and it was a lot of jerseys, and I was thinking, wow, we've got alternate jerseys, and got Coach Waters looks at me and says, no, that's track and field, and it's also cross country. It was two different ones, but I did the 5 mile and 10 mile and I want to say I got down to 6:11, 6:08, somewhere in that neighborhood.
I mean, per mile? That's really
per mile.
Good. Yeah.
Per mile.
I mean,
No. I mean,
we used to have to,
And my fastest mile was usually like the 3rd or 4th mile. It took a minute to crank up.
Run 1 mile, and I did break 6. I think it was 5:40 or 5:31 maybe. That was cooking.
I ran a mile back when we were in the old building, and I was doing the gym underneath.
Yeah.
I ran a mile there. This must have been about 8 years ago. It was 7:38. So I was happy with that.
Yeah.
But I mean, if I were to run a mile right now, yeah, get me on the bike, okay? Get me on the bike.
I'm not running unless somebody's chasing me.
Braves and Angels are coming up on the other side on the mound tonight. It is Charlie Moulton for the Braves. It is game number 104, Wes, in case you're listening, which I know he is. Game number 104, home game number 55 for the Atlanta Braves. You might want to stick around for the first inning because the Braves, how many have they scored now? 109 first inning runs for the Atlanta Braves. That laps the field. Who's second? The Dodgers. They have 82 first inning runs. This offense is just ridiculous.
Technically, that doesn't lap them, though.
You're right. It does not. Technically. But this offense is fun to follow.
That would be 164.
That would be. Thank you, Numbers. Mr. Numbers over there, Keith Neighbors, with the quick math there. That will wrap us up on this Monday edition. Coming up next, Braves baseball. First pitch is next.
Log on today, 977ESPN.com. You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
O'Reilly Auto Parts' new Brake Best Select Pro brand raises the bar for the best aftermarket domestic brake pads and rotors available. For vehicle-specific friction for